For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On May 15, 2001, 8-year-old Lisa Tam disappeared during morning recess at Kadriorg Elementary School in Tallinn, Estonia. Despite an extensive search involving local police, border guards, and hundreds of volunteers, no trace of the girl was ever found. The case became one of Estonia's most puzzling child disappearances of the early 2000s. For 18 years, Lisa's father, Mart Tam, never stopped searching for his daughter. He distributed flyers across the Baltic states and regularly checked databases of unidentified persons throughout Europe. Then, in September 2019, while driving through a small Lithuanian town, Mart spotted something on a roadside poster that would finally bring resolution to nearly 2 decades of uncertainty. This is the complete story of Lisa Tam's disappearance and the extraordinary circumstances that led to answers 18 years later. The morning of May 15, 2001, began like any other Tuesday at Kadriorg Elementary School. Located in Tallinn's prestigious Kadriorg district, the school served approximately 400 students from Estonia's emerging middle class. Lisa Tam arrived at 8:15 a.m., dropped off by her father Mart as part of their shared custody arrangement following his divorce from Lisa's mother, Anu. At 10:30 a.m., the school bell rang for morning recess. Under Estonian protocol, children were supervised outdoors for 30 minutes. The playground was enclosed by a 2-meter fence with 2 exit points leading to busy Weisenbergi Street and Kadriorg Park. Teacher Kristina Kask positioned herself near the playground equipment, while assistant Mari Veski monitored the fence area. At 10:35 a.m., both conducted a head count. All 23 students were present. When the bell rang at 11 a.m., only 22 children lined up. Lisa Tam was nowhere to be found. The initial response followed standard protocol. Principal Tuomas Rebain ordered an immediate search of the building while Veski walked the playground perimeter. Every classroom, bathroom, and storage area was checked within 15 minutes. At 11:20 a.m., Rebain contacted both police and Mart Tam. Detective Inspector Jonas Saar arrived by 11:45 a.m. His report noted that the fence showed no damage, both exit gates were closed and latched, and none of Lisa's classmates recalled seeing her leave or talking to strangers. Several children remembered playing near her around 10:40 a.m., but no one could pinpoint when she disappeared. Mart arrived visibly distressed but cooperative. The 34-year-old mechanic immediately provided information about Anu and details of Lisa's routine. By 2 p.m., the search expanded to Kadriorg Park's 70 hectares, with Estonian border guard contributing officers and search dogs. Detective Saar assembled a task force including specialists from Central Criminal Police and Child Protection Services. The school's visitor log showed no unauthorized entries, and security cameras only covered the main entrance, not the playground. Both parents' alibis were quickly verified. Anu was working at the Estonian Ministry of Education with multiple witnesses, while Mart's presence at his garage was confirmed by co-workers and service receipts. The investigation revealed that Lisa had seemed withdrawn in recent weeks, attributed to her parents' divorce proceedings. A significant lead emerged when elderly resident Helgi Raud reported seeing a dark sedan parked near the school's side entrance around 10:45 a.m., though she couldn't provide detailed descriptions. The search expanded across Estonia and into neighboring countries, though international coordination proved challenging in 2001. As weeks turned to months, the investigation generated hundreds of tips. One promising lead came in July when campers near Lake Peipus reported seeing a girl matching Lisa's description with an older man. The 3-day search operation involving 40 officers found no connection to Lisa. In August, an anonymous email claimed Lisa was being held near the port city of Sillamäe. This led to surveillance and a raid, but the house contained only an elderly couple unconnected to the case. The investigation also examined family abduction possibilities, but financial records showed no unusual transactions by either parent. The most heartbreaking aspect was the series of false identifications. Throughout 2001 and 2002, Mart received calls about sightings across the Baltic region. Each investigation resulted in disappointment, deepening the family's despair. By December 2001, active investigation was scaled back. SAR had interviewed over 200 people and followed 89 reported sightings across 3 countries, but no physical evidence was found. Mart refused to accept his daughter was gone forever. He traveled throughout the Baltic states distributing flyers and checking with authorities about unidentified children. His dedication transformed him completely. Co-workers described a man driven by a single purpose. When Estonia implemented a national DNA database in 2004, Lisa's profile was entered and compared against unidentified remains throughout Europe. Social media's rise brought new opportunities, with Mart creating Facebook pages and joining missing children networks. The case received periodic media attention, particularly on anniversaries. Estonian television produced a 2006 documentary that generated tips but no breakthrough, including FBI-created age progression photographs showing how Lisa might look as a teenager. Anu took a different approach. She remarried in 2005, moved to Tartu, and worked with child advocacy organizations. While never stopping hope for Lisa's return, she focused on preventing other disappearances through policy work. September 12, 2019, began ordinarily for 52-year-old Mart Tam. He planned a weekend trip to Lithuania to visit missing children organizations, an annual ritual using vacation time to continue his search. Around 3:30 p.m., while driving through Druskininkai near Lithuania's border with Belarus, Mart stopped at a traffic light near the cultural center. A large poster advertised the Baltic Folk Heritage Festival, with photographs of traditional dancers from Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. In the bottom right corner was a photograph that made Mart's heart stop. A young woman, approximately 25 to 26 years old, with facial features remarkably similar to how he'd imagined his daughter as an adult. The resemblance to age progression photographs was striking. The woman was identified as Lima Vaitkus, from the Lithuanian folk dance ensemble. Mart pulled over, photographed the poster, and immediately called Detective Kadri Kask in Tallinn. Within hours, they had contacted Lithuanian authorities. Detective Kask reached Lithuanian Detective Lieutenant Romas Pavlonis in Vilnius. Lithuania and Estonia had strong EU cooperation protocols, and missing children cases received priority attention. Lithuanian authorities quickly identified Lima Vaitkus as a 26-year-old dance instructor raised by grandparents after her parents died in a car accident. The timing immediately raised red flags. Pavlonis arranged to meet Lima under the pretext of interviewing folk dancers for a cultural project. On September 15th, he and a colleague visited her at the community center where she taught dance. Their report described a polite woman who spoke fluent Lithuanian but occasionally used Estonian-like phrases. When asked about her childhood, Lima claimed no memories before age 10 due to trauma from her parents' death. She had no photographs before that age, lost in a house fire. Most significantly, when Pavlonis casually used Estonian phrases, Lima showed clear recognition before catching herself. Obtaining DNA required careful legal maneuvering. Lithuanian authorities couldn't compel testing based on resemblance alone, but could request voluntary cooperation for an international investigation. After consulting an attorney, Lima agreed to provide a sample. The sample was collected September 20th and sent to Estonia's Forensic Science Institute. Meanwhile, investigators examined Lima's background. Her grandparents had died in 2015 and 2017, but neighbors remembered Lima appearing suddenly around 2001 to 2002. The grandparents explained she was their orphaned granddaughter from Vilnius, but neighbors noted she seemed confused about Lithuanian customs and spoke with a foreign accent. Medical records provided crucial evidence. Lima's earliest record was March 2002, nearly a year after Lisa's disappearance. The record showed no previous medical history, unusual for a child supposedly living in Lithuania her entire life. On October 2, 2019, Detective Kask received the call that would end Mart's 18-year search. DNA comparison showed 97% probability that Lima was biologically related to Lisa's parents. There was no doubt, Lima was indeed Lisa. Mart was informed first, at Pojatalen police station with victim services support. His reaction combined overwhelming relief with immediate concern for his daughter's well-being. Informing Lima proved more complex. At Vilnius police station, she showed genuine shock and confusion, repeatedly asking how this was possible. The legal implications were immediately apparent. Someone had committed international kidnapping, child trafficking, and document fraud. The investigation expanded to include organized crime specialists. With DNA confirmation, investigators faced reconstructing events from 18 years earlier. The Vaitkus family's financial records revealed suspicious cash deposits in 2001 to 2002, inconsistent with Jonas Vaitkus's pension income. Phone records showed calls between the Vaitkus home and Estonian numbers during weeks following Lisa's disappearance. Social media provided unexpected evidence. Photographs from the early 2010s showed Lima participating in Estonian cultural events, wearing traditional Estonian costume and performing Estonian folk dances. Linguistic analysis of her posts revealed Estonian language structure despite being written in Lithuanian. Medical examination showed dental work using techniques common in 1990s Estonia. A small scar on Lima's hand matched records of a playground injury 8-year-old Lisa had suffered months before disappearing. The first meeting between Mart and his daughter took place October 15, 2019, supervised by social services professionals. Both were initially hesitant, with Lima uncertain about her feelings and Mart struggling to reconcile the adult woman with his memories of his 8-year-old daughter. Certain moments validated their relationship. When Mart mentioned Lisa's stuffed elephant, Elmo, Lima smiled and said she'd dreamed about an elephant toy for years. When he described their Sunday tradition of visiting Tallinn's Old Town, she admitted feeling inexplicably drawn to Estonian architecture during her few visits to the capital. The reunion revealed psychological complexity. Lima had lived 18 years believing herself Lithuanian, with genuine love for her adoptive grandparents. Learning her foundation was built on apparent criminal activity created significant trauma. The criminal investigation faced challenges due to time passage and the primary suspect's deaths. Lithuanian prosecutors worked with Estonian authorities, but the elderly Vaitkus couple's deaths had eliminated likely defendants. One lead involved Alexander Petrov, who worked as a handyman for the family in the early 2000s. Located in Kaliningrad, Russia, Petrov revealed only that he'd been paid for family matters and hadn't asked questions about the child who appeared in the household. For Lima, legal questions were complex. She'd been living under false identity but as an unwilling crime victim. Lithuanian authorities established frameworks allowing her to maintain Lithuanian residency while recognizing her Estonian citizenship by birth. The resolution became international news throughout Europe and beyond. The story resonated because it combined rare elements: a missing child case solved after nearly 2 decades, international law enforcement cooperation, and a reunion challenging assumptions about identity and family. Estonian media covered the story responsibly, focusing on investigative work rather than sensationalizing trauma. The Estonian public, following the case since 2001, expressed widespread relief. Lithuanian media faced complexity, as the story suggested their country had been used for child trafficking, but authorities handled it transparently. The case prompted EU discussions about missing children policies, highlighting improved international cooperation and technological advances unavailable in 2001. Child advocacy organizations emphasized the importance of never abandoning investigations, with Mart's search becoming a symbol of parental dedication. Psychological recovery proved complex and ongoing. Lima worked with trauma specialists experienced in recovered missing children cases. Her situation was unique because she'd been raised lovingly, despite the criminal foundation. The most challenging aspect was reconciling memories and identity. Lima had genuine love for her deceased adoptive grandparents, making their apparent involvement in her kidnapping difficult to process. Family therapy helped all parties navigate reunion dynamics after extended separation. Culturally, Lima faced reconnecting with Estonian identity while maintaining Lithuanian development. She spoke Estonian with increasing fluency as childhood memories returned, but also maintained love for Lithuanian culture. Psychologists noted this bicultural identity could ultimately strengthen her. The resolution provided closure and valuable lessons for European law enforcement. Several factors contributed to success: Mart's persistent search, DNA technology advances, international databases, and improved Estonian-Lithuanian cooperation. The case highlighted 2001 gaps since addressed: better school security, improved alert systems, and enhanced international communication. However, investigators acknowledged determined criminals can circumvent security measures. For the family, resolution brought relief and new challenges. Mart finally had answers but faced integrating an adult daughter into his life. Anu continued child advocacy work, using her experience to help other families. Lima faced ongoing identity reconstruction and relationship building while processing trauma of learning her childhood was built on criminal activity. Her case became a study subject for psychologists specializing in recovered missing children. The criminal investigation remained technically open, though prosecution seemed unlikely due to time passage and suspect deaths. Focus shifted to prevention and improving systems for protecting children and solving disappearances quickly. In the broader context, Lisa's story provided hope while demonstrating complex realities of long-term disappearances. Not all missing children are found alive, and not all recoveries lead to happy reunions. However, advances continue improving resolution chances. The case stands as testament to persistent investigation, international cooperation, and unbreakable parent-child bonds. While 18 years cannot be undone, the Tam family demonstrates relationship rebuilding and creating new foundations is possible after devastating circumstances. As of 2019, Lisa continued living in Lithuania while maintaining regular Estonian family contact. She expressed interest in learning about her early childhood and Estonian culture while preserving her Lithuanian identity. Her story continues inspiring missing children organizations and families facing similar tragedies, proving hope should never be abandoned.